So you want to ditch the computer screen and get your hands dirty building something real.
Yeah. Today, we're diving deep right into the heart of slate mixing.
It's a job, honestly, that most people don't even know exists. But
It's crucial, can't have those roofs without it.
this deep dive is all about acing that Slate Mixer interview. And thankfully, we've got RoleCatcher's career and interview guides to help us out. Think of this as like building your mental toolbox for that job interview.
And we're not just talking about the basics.
Right, because you probably already know that a slate mixer is the one behind the scenes, making sure all those colorful granules on asphalt roofing come together perfectly.
Yeah, they're operating machinery, blending those granules.
And it takes real precision, knowing your way around machines.
Oh, and safety first.
Yeah.
Always.
Speaking of which, imagine you're sitting across from the hiring manager, and they hit you with that classic. Walk me through your experience with slate mixing. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, that you're just starting out. Maybe you don't have years of experience mixing slate. How do you even begin to answer that?
Well, that's where you've got to play up those transferable skills. Even without direct experience, you've got something to offer.
It's about emphasizing what you do have. Maybe you were a total stickler for detail in a past job, like, I don't know, organizing a stockroom down to the last inch, or lining up products on shelves perfectly.
Exactly. That shows you've got that eye for detail, which is crucial for a slate mixer. It's all about precision.
Or maybe you're the one everyone goes to when something breaks around the house.
Yeah, like you taught yourself to fix a dishwasher or rewire a lamp. That kind of experience shows you've got that mechanical aptitude employers are looking for.
And safety. Don't forget about safety. Mention any safety training you've had, even if it was for a totally different field, like, say, restaurant work or retail. It all shows you're committed to a safe work environment, which is a huge plus.
Absolutely. It shows you're thinking like a slate mixer already, putting safety front and center. And be ready for follow-up questions.
Oh, you know they're coming.
They might ask, give me a specific example of a time your attention to detail really mattered. Or tell me about a time you had to figure out what was wrong with a machine and fix it.
Ooh, those follow-up questions, they're like, they throw you a softball, and then they're just waiting to see if you can knock it out of the park. You've got to have those concrete examples ready.
Totally. And don't be afraid to think outside the box a bit. Did you ever have to follow a complicated recipe to a T or build a piece of furniture from scratch following those super detailed instructions? Even if it's not about slate mixing, it still shows you're meticulous and you pay attention.
Okay, so we've nailed the experience question. Now the interviewer throws a curveball and asks, how do you handle tight deadlines when you're mixing slate? And honestly, that's where things get really interesting.
Construction is all about deadlines. They want to see that you can handle pressure and still deliver top-notch work. Don't just say you work well under pressure. Give them an example, a story.
Right. Anyone can say that.
Yeah.
But can you back it up? Maybe you had to finish a project on a super tight schedule, or you were on a team that pulled an all-nighter to get something done.
Exactly. Use that experience. Show them your dedication, your commitment. Walk them through how you stayed organized, what you prioritized. Did you use any tools or strategies to manage your time?
And what if you're newer to the field and don't have a construction-specific example? Can you use experiences from other parts of your life?
Of course. Maybe you organized a school event or managed a crazy schedule and a fast-paced retail job. The key is showing you can plan, prioritize, and get things done, even when the pressure's on.
And again, be ready for those follow-up questions.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely come.
They might say, what would you do if a crucial piece of equipment broke right before a deadline? Or how do you decide what to tackle first when you have multiple deadlines hitting you all at once?
That's where you really get to show off your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet.
Okay, get ready for this next one, because it feels like they're asking you to reveal your deepest, darkest secret. Can you share an example of a particularly challenging slate mixing project you've worked on? Like, are they trying to get us to admit we messed up?
Not at all. Think of it as a chance to highlight your problem-solving skills and your resilience. They want to know that you can handle a tough situation and come out on top. So tell them about a time when things didn't go exactly as planned.
So instead of hiding from our challenges, we should embrace them.
Exactly. Walk them through how you identified the problem, what steps you took to fix it, and most importantly, what you learned from the whole experience.
It's not about focusing on the mistake. It's about showing you can grow from it.
Exactly. And be prepared for those follow-up questions like, knowing what you know now, how would you approach a similar challenge differently in the future? Or what resources did you use to help you overcome that obstacle?
It's all about proving that you're not just someone who pushes buttons. You're a problem solver, a quick thinker, and someone who learns from their mistakes.
And those are valuable skills in any job, not just slate mixing.
So we've talked about specific interview questions, but let's zoom out a bit. You mentioned earlier that RoleCatcher's Career Guide maps out a typical career path for a slate mixer.
Yeah, they do a great job of laying out the different stages, like starting from entry level and going all the way up to those lead positions. What's really cool is they include real-world examples for each level so you can really picture yourself in those roles.
So let's say someone is just starting out as an entry-level slate mixer. What are some of those typical day-to-day responsibilities?
At that entry level, it's a lot about mastering the basics, learning the ropes. Think operating machinery, but with supervision, helping out with routine maintenance, really getting a feel for the work environment.
So showing you're reliable, eager to learn, and you can handle those everyday tasks.
Exactly. And then as you move up to a junior slate mixer, you get more independence. You might be operating machines on your own, tackling more complex maintenance tasks, even troubleshooting minor problems that come up.
It's like leveling up your skills, taking on more responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. You might even start working more closely with the team, like maybe on optimizing the slate granule mixtures for different projects. That's where those problem solving and critical thinking skills really come into play.
Now, for those who are really driven and want to climb that quarry ladder, there's the senior slate mixer position. What does that involve?
That's where you step into more of a mentor role, guiding those junior team members, making sure everyone is following those crucial safety protocols, and keeping those quality control standards high.
So it's not just about your own work anymore. You're responsible for helping others succeed too.
Exactly. And senior slate mixers are often the ones suggesting improvements to how things are done, finding ways to boost efficiency or make the final product even better. Imagine being the one who suggests a tweak to the granule blend that makes a roof last 5 years longer. That's the kind of impact you can have.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
It's really taking ownership and thinking about the bigger picture. But let's say you're aiming for the very top, lead slate mixer. That sounds like a challenging but incredibly rewarding role.
For sure. As the lead slate mixer, you're like the conductor of the orchestra. You're leading the team, developing training programs, even collaborating with engineers to perfect those granule mixtures. It really requires a deep understanding of the machinery, the materials, and of course the people involved.
It's that perfect blend of leadership and technical expertise. Now, before we move on to the really cool stuff about RoleCatcher's AI, I wanted to touch on something else the guide mentioned that I found interesting, and that's networking. You don't always think of networking as being crucial in a hands-on field like construction.
Yeah, that's a common misconception that networking is just for people in tech or business suits. It's so valuable in any industry, especially construction.
So for someone interested in slate mixing, how can they even begin to build those connections?
Attending industry events is a great place to start. Look for trade shows, conferences, or workshops related to construction or roofing specifically. Those events are gold mines for meeting people in the field, learning about the newest technologies, and even just handing out your resume.
I bet you can pick up so much valuable information at those events too.
Oh, absolutely. You'll hear about the latest trends, the challenges people are facing, the new opportunities that are emerging. It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look at the industry.
Like peeking behind that quarry curtain.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those trade associations. Many of them have mentorship programs, networking events specifically for their members, even job boards.
It's all about tapping into that community of professionals who share your passion, who can offer guidance, support, maybe even job leads down the line.
Speaking of landing that dream job, let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can really help you stand out from the crowd. We've covered some fantastic general advice, but what if you could get personalized feedback on your resume and your interview answers?
That sounds incredibly futuristic.
Get ready for the future because RoleCatcher makes it possible. Remember those easy apply buttons?
Oh, I've seen those. They can feel like black holes sometimes.
That's because a lot of those applications go through these automated systems that scan resumes for specific keywords. If you don't have the right words on your resume, it might not even make it to a human.
So how does RoleCatcher's AI come into play here?
Their AI is like a secret decoder ring for job descriptions. It analyzes the specific job you're applying for and figures out exactly what skills the employer is looking for. Then it helps you tailor your resume and your cover letter to match those keywords, which means you have a much better chance of getting past the bots and in front of a real person.
So it's not about tricking the system, it's about speaking their language.
Exactly. And it gets even cooler. RoleCatcher's AI can also help you practice your interview answers. You can actually type in your responses and get personalized feedback, again, based on the specific job you're going for.
Wait, are you serious? That's like having a personal interview coach available 24/7.
It's like getting a sneak peek into the interviewer's mind.
It's way beyond any generic advice. It's personalized, it's tailored. It's like having your own custom toolkit to ace every stage of the interview process. But let's not forget about that human element.
Of course. RoleCatcher's AI gives you a huge advantage, but there's no replacement for genuine passion, preparation, and practice.
It's like RoleCatcher gives you that boost to get you ready. Kind of like finding that secret weapon in a video game.
Totally. It helps you bring your A game, but then it's up to you to really shine in that interview room.
So as we're wrapping up our deep dive into the world of slate mixing, what are some of those key takeaways our listeners should really remember as they're gearing up for that interview?
I think the most important thing is showing genuine passion. Anyone can memorize answers, but when you're truly excited about something, it really comes across.
Absolutely. Show them that you're eager to learn, ready to work hard, and you want to be a valuable part of the team. Let that enthusiasm show, even when you're talking about things like safety procedures or equipment maintenance.
And remember, details, details, details. It's one thing to say you're a hard worker, but to really make an impression, back it up with concrete examples from your past experiences.
It's like anyone can describe a delicious meal, but it's a whole other thing to actually taste it. Give them those vivid details, make them almost taste it.
Yes, exactly. Did you do something in a past role that boosted efficiency by a certain percentage? Were you consistently exceeding production goals? Did you get amazing feedback from your supervisors about your attention to detail? Anytime you can put a number to your accomplishments, do it.
Now, we've talked a lot about the technical skills and experience needed, but what about those less tangible qualities? What kind of person really thrives as a slate mixer?
That's a great question. You have to think about the environment. Construction sites can be noisy, things move fast, it can be stressful. Someone who can adapt, someone who can think on their feet, they're going to be able to handle those unexpected challenges.
Because it's not just about mixing the slate, it's also about how you mix with the people around you. Construction sites, they require teamwork, clear communication, being able to collaborate effectively.
Absolutely. Highlight those experiences where you were part of a team, where you listened to others' ideas and contributed to a positive team environment.
So, to wrap it all up, prepare those interview answers. Highlight those skills and experiences, but let your personality shine through. Show them that you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a valuable asset, and you're ready to contribute.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher have your back. Their AI tools can help you fine-tune that resume, practice those interview answers, so you can walk into that interview feeling prepped, confident, and ready to rock.
So go out there, dive into that quarry of opportunity, arm yourself with the right knowledge, prep those answers, and let your skills shine through.
Until next time, keep those granules flowing and those roofs looking sharp.